Manchester United 2, Nottingham Forest 0, 5-0 aggregate win. We are through to the final. We're going to Wembley. Steve, this is what Ten Hag does. He gets his teams and he gets them in cup finals. Talk to me. What are you seeing? What is he doing? Why do I feel like I like Man United again?
We're in a final. The route has been treacherous. The route has been, hang on, let me just pull up exactly who we've had to, the behemoths that we've had to beat. I mean, you got Champions League winners on here. Thank you very much. Mm-hmm. We're talking some absolute legendary teams that we've had to beat that I can't now find where I was just reading it.
Well,
but anyway, it's like Charlton,
we've got
Forest,
Villa, Burnley, Charlton, Forest. Yeah? Twice.
That's basically who City draw in the Champions League every year.
Yeah. If you put a Borussia München in front of any of those words, that is who City draw. So, it's pretty elite stuff. We've got 2 Champions League winning teams in there. That's not bad. So are you saying that it doesn't count because we've not played anyone good? Are you giving the old Gareth Southgate argument here?
No, I'm not. No, because Ten Hag's going to go one better than Gareth Southgate and actually win something, as he's already done. He delivered a World Cup, he delivered the Eredivisie, he delivered the Youth Cup. All of these things he's won since he's been appointed. But as well as the Hong Kong Century Cup, let's not forget that. That 48 hours that we had after that was outrageous. But I will say, I think the EFL Cup would be a nice little entree for what's about to come for the next 5 or 6 years as a Manchester United fan.
I love that. This is probably the most confident and upbeat I've seen you since we met. Because when we met, it was just past this sort of glow of Ole had kind of worn off and you were in that is he good enough mode. We got to a couple of, one final, numerous semi-finals and the answer turned out to be no. Then it was Rangnick. Now it feels as though United are actually in a position where we've got some of the right players. I think we've got the right manager, or certainly a right manager. I think that maybe he's not the only manager that come in trophies, but he's right up there. It does feel as though things are moving in the right direction. Let's talk about the final a little bit, because I think that's the key thing here, isn't it? Newcastle, best defence in the league by 5 goals minimum. They're comfortably the best defence in the league. United struggled to break them down last time we played. I know we probably should have won that game. How do you see that final going? Because you've got people like Varane in there who I think for Real Madrid won 13 of his 15 finals. So these are people who know how to win these games. How do you see us breaking down Newcastle?
I think what we saw tonight with Anthony Martial, with Jadon Sancho, what we haven't yet seen with Sabitzer. I think you've got potent attacking players that are going to complement what we already had in Marcus Rashford. Obviously, we've got Weghorst, which that'll be a real interest. Dan Burn against Weghorst is going to be an absolute clash of titans. So we might go with Anthony Martial in that and go with someone who's going to dribble rather than go toe-to-toe with them in that front. Or he might bring him on to have a little bit of stability at set pieces, because set pieces is where Newcastle are dangerous. It's a tough match. I won't be sitting here completely writing Newcastle off, because I don't think that's fair, and I don't think that's right. They're technically above us in the league, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're in a good spot this season. Like you said, they don't concede many goals. Their issue is that they don't score a lot of goals. So if United can get their noses in front, we can absolutely terrorise these. And I would say the one place that you can get at Newcastle is right in behind Kieran Trippier. And I think Marcus Rashford being our prized asset at the moment, I think he'll be relishing running in and behind Kieran Trippier. So I think that's one way that you can open them up. Interesting dynamic seeing Jason Sanchez coming and playing in the 10. We see more of Bruno off the right. So many people are going to just ask that question now, but let's just ignore them. We've got options and ways of playing. One of the best things about having these options is that when Eddie Howe starts looking at United, he can't say with any confidence, this is how United are going to play. He's going to have to say, they might play like this and they might play like this and they might play like this. But he can't stand up there and tell his team this is exactly how they're going to play. We've improved and evolved since they played us at Old Trafford. And it was very, very fortunate to get away with just a point in that game. I thought we absolutely deserved more from that. And I wonder if that plays into their minds a little bit. I'm confident United are going to win this thing. It's going to be tight. This isn't me dismissing them. I'm allowed to be confident about my team, and I am.
What are the big things in your head that make you this confident? Because I remember before the Europa League final, you were confident, but I think that there still felt like there was this. I'm not sure we're ready yet. I'm not sure we've got what it takes. Is it as simple as personnel, manager, bit of everything? Is there anything specific where you think I just can't see us losing because of this?
Character. Marcus at the moment is playing with some unbelievable character. Casemiro. I don't know if Casemiro is literally the Brazilian translation for the word character.
It sounds like
you've got Martinez. Should we just roll with that and pretend? Yeah, Casemiro's Portuguese for character. So, as everyone knows, you've obviously got Martinez and Varane. Luke Shaw's in a fantastic vein of form. I'm seeing Aaron Wan-Bissaka trying to fake people out with dummies. What's going on? I'm seeing a team that's playing with confidence, that's able to keep clean sheets. It's so important. We're able to keep clean sheets. We're able to score goals. We move the ball nicely through the middle. As long as Sabitzer comes in and has anywhere like the sort of impact all of the rest of the signings that Ten Hag has made, including Weghorst, I think it's ours to lose. I think that, are they going to be tough to break down? 1,000%. The fact that we've got to play, I think, 19 games between now and the final and they've got none is possibly a factor, especially when you look at every challenge. It seems like someone stays down just a little bit too long and makes my bum all pucker up a little bit. That's a factor that we have to account for, because the second string isn't anywhere near good enough. But if we turn up with a good 11, forget about why should Manchester United win this. It'll be a case of why won't Manchester United win this? Yes, Newcastle are going to be tough to beat, but are they scoring enough goals?
Yeah, doesn't seem like it at the moment. United have scored 2 or more goals in 10 of the 12 games since the World Cup, which is a big difference because before the World Cup, I mean, technically United have still scored less goals than Newcastle in the Premier League this season, but in all competitions it's a lot more. But 10 of the last 12 games, they've scored 2 goals or more. And I think we've had clean sheets in 7 or 8 of those games. Only Newcastle, and maybe that's changed after tonight as well, and Newcastle didn't get a clean sheet. Only Newcastle had got more clean sheets than us in Europe this season. So it's interesting, because it doesn't seem like we're that good defensively, but when you actually look at the numbers, we are. It's I don't know, it's just, I almost feel nervous that I'm this confident. My instinct is to be really confident because
form
of what I'm
Joe.
seeing.
Form.
Yeah.
I think of the form that we're in right now, because what happened in August is absolutely irrelevant to what's happening now. The way the team played in August is not relevant to the way the team played now. The personnel in August was different to the personnel now. We still had Cristiano Ronaldo kind of at that time of the season. We are such a different entity. Harry Maguire was still playing at that time. We are completely different. We have totally transformed this football team. And then, I think the likes of Garnacho have earned the trust of the manager to be able to start these games. I hope Palestri's able to go and do the same sort of thing and challenge Anthony down the right-hand side. And just in the blink of an eye, we've gone from having nothing in terms of depth to, actually, we can just bring on a whole new strike force at once. It's awesome.
Yeah, just on Sancho before we finish, because I've never seen a player. We're talking to Nathan Ellington, who's obviously been a professional footballer, played hundreds of games in the Football League. He's never seen a player have essentially 3 months off for non-footballing reasons, the way Jadon Sancho has. Came back on today in the 10, surprisingly, like I said, but how big could he be coming back in? Because it allows maybe Bruno to take a day off, alleviate some pressure from Antony, maybe push past Antony for that right wing spot. It allows him to give Rashford, like having a player of his potential quality in the team could be massive for United, couldn't it?
Yeah, it's basically a January signing for us, because he's just been absent for months. And you're right, not many players are able to take that sort of extended amount of time off. But if he comes back and has even 70% of the impact that we think he could have, Erik Ten Hag has played an absolute blinder. Like, what's your options there as your manager? You run him into the ground, you tell him, I don't give a shit about your mental health, you're going to keep playing, and you're going to get hammered by the fans. You're going to get dropped. That's definitely going to do loads for your mental health, isn't it? Or you spot a problem before it becomes a massive issue. You send him off to speak to therapists. You get the weight off him. Even if you only did that, it was a productive time away. Now, I don't think he did a great deal tonight when he came on. He didn't do it a lot right or wrong. He just didn't do a lot. But he looked sharp. There was movements. There was a willingness to run. I saw him tracking back intensely. We haven't seen where he's at just yet. But I tell you this, the fact that he came on tonight speaks volumes. Because I don't think Ten Hag sends him away for 3 months and brings him on in a game, regardless of the scoreline, regardless of the circumstances. I don't think he brings him on in a semi-final if he's not truly ready. Because I think that could set him back even further if he wasn't up to it. So the fact that we've seen him, Ten Hag's obviously happy with him. Because there was no pressure for him to do that tonight. He could have brought on Palestri and no one would have thought anything of it. So I think that tells you that he's coming to the boil, if not already cooking.
Yeah, great. Finally, are you going to Wembley? Are you going to the final?
You fucking better be.
Am I going to see you still doing something?
Hotel.
Really? Oh, right. So you're going to Wembley, whether you get in or not is another matter. Is this where you start elbowing Rio Ferdinand and asking for tickets?
Yet.
Yeah, go on. Rio will sort you out. Go on. Surely he can. You just get dropping a text.
I'm in the Auto Cup scheme. Like, when every single round that we've ended up with a home draw in during the League Cup, he's only on the off chance that at the end of it, they go, sorry, we've been raping your bank account the entire season. There's a ticket to Wembley. That's what you do it for. So I better have one. You know what I'm saying?
Hopefully. Well, yeah, exactly. Well,
if I don't, we've got that former QPR defender that I might be able to try and tap up for one.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, surely at some point, Rio Ferdinand's getting asked for a ticket. But I think everyone's trying to find a ticket at the minute, and that's the whole fun. Manchester United are back in finals. The League Cup final, the first trophy Ten Hag could win. We have a good chance of winning. Thank you for joining us, Steve. Thank you for joining us at home. Hit subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you in a bit.